Patch notes. Yeah, so they're making level 7. Let me make sure this is the first slide. Yep. So making level 7 a little better, improving the rates on 4 costs at level 7 so you don't just feel like you're getting boned. People will roll down and then, not be able to get anything they want because there's no chance of getting it. So they buffed it. Also, if your bench is full, it's going to sell one of the champions when you come out of carousel. Going forward, so you need to make sure you have that taken care of before you get to the carousel. There will be a UI thingy that pops up that allows you to get shoved in your face that you need to sell something. So that's good. Divine, a slight debuff or a slight nerf, just to bounce out a little better. Elderwood gets a slight buff for armor and MR per stack from 25 to 30 at level 2 or 6 and 15 to 20 at 3. Mage is getting a buff at 6 mage. Vanguard is getting another big old buff. They're just trying to make it better so people might actually use it. That's about it there. Diana goes from 9 to 8 orbs at 4-star. There's a slight nerf. Fiora, they're buffing quite a bit, lowering her mana, buffing her spell damage. They want her to actually be a feasible character to play. And Lysandra is getting a slight nerf as well, because they're just performing a little too well, maybe? Not sure. Maokai, 35 to 40 armor, 20 to 30 magic resist. They want him to be a little more of a frontline tanky boy. And then Wukong is getting a buff to his attack damage ratio because they nerfed the living shit out of him into oblivion. So he's getting a buff. Aphelios will now proc Hunter with his turrets, which he wasn't and is still doing as well as he was. So they went ahead and dropped his AD to try to prevent him going fucking bananas, even though he's gonna go fucking bananas now that Hunter procs. Hecarim dropping mana, so they want him to be a little better, it looks like. So that's a slight buff. Jarvan is getting a slight nerf. I guess he's just a little too good. And Silas gets a buff to spell power at 3 and 4-star. They want him to be an actually good character. Vi is getting a slight nerf, it looks like, in armor penetration, but also a buff to mana. So she'll cast more, but not do so much armor penetration. That's okay. Evelyn is getting a little more balanced out, so she's going to do less execute, but she's also going to hit harder. So I just want her to be a little more viable at times when you're not getting the execute damage. Callista will actually work with items now. Apparently, she was not working with any items properly. So to counterbalance that, she gets 0.9 attack speed instead of 1. They buffed Lux's ability power on when she's a chosen, so maybe you'll actually pick her off the bench now. And they're giving Xinjiao one final buff to try to make him viable. So 0.8 to 0.85 attack speed, and 325 to 340, 300 to 330 at 2 and 1-star. Yumi gets a little more health. They want her to stay alive a little longer. Talon getting a buff again because he got nerfed into nothingness. So more HP and more spell AD ratio. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. And then Warwick is getting a tiny nerf to his lifesteal at 1 and 2-star, not at 3-star. Kayn getting a nerf. He's too strong. That's it. And then Set Showstopper will now hit for the AoE damage even if he's not able to grab the target. Last Whisper goes from 75 to 80% armor reduction to go with that Vanguard buff. And then these are the last ones, the bugs. The camera will now reset zoom level to default whenever the player changes views. Fix Galio so that he does not get buffed by Zeke's or Locket or Chalice. And Zephyr will not try to target him anymore. Lol. Fixed an issue with Lysandra's hair. Fixed a bug where Hurricane could fail to shoot at enemies that were really far away. Fixed a bug where Callista would reapply spell power to execute, which resulted in overkill damage. Yeah, so that was just basically giving her damage where she wasn't actually getting damage. So I don't know what that was fucking up, but that probably helps them more than anything, which is good. Fixed an issue where Warwick's Hunter proc would delay his next attack at high attack speeds. Dope. And fixed a bug where Warwick is not triggering on attack effects. Rageblade Shiv on his Hunter. So that'll make him a little better, at least with Shiv. And that's that. Thank you, Mort. Appreciate you, bruh. And now it's time to play.